Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to draw the proportions of a figure, and I'm going to use this wooden mannequin as my model. First, you're going to start by drawing the head, which is an oval in shape. Then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw approximately how many heads tall the average human is, which is between 7 to 8. I'll use about 7.5 as my marking point for this project. And that's the halfway part that I mark. That'll be like where the feet will be. Now, once you have your head and your proportion tools on the side, those ovals we draw, those will be serving as your guide and as you draw, so you can kind of self-check against my version of the drawing. So I'm going to start off by drawing a simple skeletal structure with the neck, and I'm going to start drawing the upper torso, the chest portion, and about where the chest is, the middle of the chest, is approximately 2 heads down to give you an idea. So I'm going to start and draw a half circle, and that will give me a good idea about where the bottom of that second head would be. So that's what I'm doing here. And this is a rough copy. This is not nearly a finished copy, so you'd refine this as you go. Now I'm going to work on creating the rest of the torso. And there's the chest line. I marked that off. You don't have to, but for the sake of this demo, I am, just to kind of help you understand the proportions. And where the 3 is, the bottom of the third head, is approximately where the belly button is, or the navel. So I might put waist, but I think I go back and I change that. So you can see like the middle section that connects the upper torso and the hips, that's kind of the navel area. Now I'm going to be drawing the hip area, that second structure below the upper torso, and that will take us to about halfway through this drawing project. And a simple shape like you see, it's kind of like a gumdrop sort of shape. Again, I'm just referencing the mannequin. A human proportion will be a little bit different than what I'm drawing if you were to model exactly against a wooden mannequin. So just keep that in mind, but it is serving as a good model for us for this project. Now we're going to start to draw some of the joints in. So I use circles where the joints are, like the shoulder joints, okay? And just after this part here is where I'll kind of dot out a second and a third head, because the average male is approximately 3 heads wide. Female, slightly more narrow, but we could have females that have 3 heads wide as well. And if you get into like superhero proportioning, it'll be very even different than that. So now I'm going to draw kind of like the bone part of the arm. So the circles are the joints, and those the elbows. Just about the bottom of the third head down is where the elbow should be, lining up with the navel or the belly button. And underneath the forehead, we're going to draw the hips right now. So those are the hip sockets where your femur, which I'm going to draw now, will attach to. So the femur comes down to about, it's one of your bigger bones in your body, and it comes down to approximately like the bottom of the 6th head, or right in the middle, give or take. And then I will draw the joints again with circles, and I might move them up or down to kind of just refine my drawing as I go, and feel free to do the same. During this stage, it's very easy to make adjustments, making the bone section longer, moving the joint up and down. And now the hip or sorry, not the hip here, but the foot goes at the bottom, and I drew that little circle for like the ankle joint, and I'm kind of overlapping them a little bit here. The feet don't have to look like actual feet, just kind of use the mannequin as a reference for what type of shape to use. Now, here's the one part that threw a lot of people off, is how far down do the hands go? People think the hands stop there, but the tips of your hands line up in approximately the middle of your thigh. So you see right there, the tip of my fingertips in this hand would be right in the middle of the thigh. People will tend to make the arms a lot shorter than that, but be careful not to. So now you can see I have the basic structure in the lines, single line and ball socket joints there for the circles. Now what I'm doing is I'm connecting, and I'm making what I like to call the pipes, right? This would kind of give the muscle or a little bit more structure to your drawing. And you see I made a little mistake there. I just wanted to kind of adjust and move up. And it's really simple to kind of move as you go if you wanted the hands to go in a different position. And I'll model that a little bit later with a couple of reference photos. So this is just a basic head-on view of the model. And as you can see, mine looks a little bit more wide than the mannequin next to it, but that's okay. And I postured the legs a little bit differently so they're not like perfectly straight. Again, finishing the pipe section here. We're just about done with the drawing. At this point, I'm just going to go in and refine a few spots to kind of model like the flat surfaces of the mannequin in there. It kind of makes it look like a little bit of a light bulb, and in here for the hips. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully this will help you out in drawing your figure, and I'm going to show a few more poses coming up. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like to draw a few different poses here. So I'm just tracing over a picture I printed out. So if you find a picture that has the pose you like, you could do the same thing, and it helps you kind of practice before you actually go on to your final drawing or even a rough copy. So I drew the head. It's kind of profile view. The girl's dancing, and you can see I made the spine curve to reflect her spine. And now I'm finding like the circle joints for her shoulders, elbows, and her hand. You're not necessarily tracing here, but note here the angles that I'm drawing, right? I looked at the angles and made sure the angles are matching up. The bone section goes right towards like the middle of her leg, and it connects to her hip. You know, some of the joints may have been hidden behind body parts if they're in a unique position like this. And now we have all of those joints in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice, now that I've traced over the drawing, or I'm sorry, the photo of the girl, I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to actually just draw it, you know, a quick drawing to show you what it would look like for you drawing your figure now. So after you practiced, you're just going to basically use your overlay as a guide. You know, I'm drawing the neck, the torso, kind of modeling what I have. I forgot to draw the spine first, but I come back in and I'll fix that, I think. If you make a little mistake, like the arm's a little bent there, that's okay. It's just a quick study, just to kind of help you get used to practicing. I did remember the spine. Good job. I'm going to draw the hips in here. Note the angle here. So look at the difference in space between the torso and the leg, and that will help you draw. And also look where the knee is in relation to the face. The leg's coming back towards the body here. And now we're drawing the longer leg in the back. And I didn't draw the foot yet until I had that other leg in place, because the front foot overlaps where the knee and shin are on the back leg. which kind of hides where the joint would be, which is okay. We just kind of guess here. Sorry, I forgot to move the paper up, but you know what I'm going to do. So I finished this drawing off, and I'm going to show you how to do one more, same thing with a different pose. I'll just fast forward for this part.